Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dimitri Johnson, and you're listening to MMALatestNews.com.
It's time to roll, baby.
Hello and welcome back to MMA Latest News. My name is James Sweetnam and we've got a brilliant show for you today. Of course, we're going to be talking all about a brilliant win for Israel Adesanya and if he is going to be the new Conor McGregor of this sport. We're going to be talking all the debacle that Jon Jones has been involved with, Michael Bisping popping out his own eye, and Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez in the WWE. Now, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, make sure that you stick them in the comment section and I will get to them at the end of the video. But let's kick it off. Melbourne, Australia, the Marvel Stadium, 57,000 fans all packed in to cheer on their homeboy Robert Whittaker. And on the day, he just couldn't get the job done. Israel Adesanya strolled to the octagon, calm as you like, performed in some diversity dance routine. It looked like he was going to waste energy, but he seems to need that to get into the zone, to get relaxed. He's a real superstar, and he gets the fight game. He strolled to the octagon. Robert Whittaker looked really intense. He strolled at a really quick pace. He looked like he was going to gas out before the opening bell. When the two men got into the octagon, Robert Whittaker started well. He was dominating the first round, but one thing that I noticed was that he was throwing and missing quite a lot with very powerful shots, and obviously that's going to take it out of you. It seemed like Israel Adesanya was just using the first round to adapt and overcome the style of Rob Whittaker and just learn his timing, and he did that really well. At the end of the first round, he dropped Robert Whittaker with a big right hand, and we all thought it was over. The ref was absolutely incredible. Mark Goddard got in quick as you like and stopped it. But if there'd have been just a couple more seconds left in that round, Whittaker's done at the end of the first. Going into the second, Rob Whittaker didn't change up his game plan at all. Maybe the fact that there was 57,000 people there just got the better of him because he just didn't perform. He was throwing at too high an intensity. He's such a clever fighter and he wasn't playing to his own strengths. His wrestling is far better than Israel Adesanya's and he didn't attempt a single takedown. Nothing was changed and he walked onto a big left hook from Israel Adesanya. He went down. And I hope that the wars that Robert Whittaker's been through aren't going to take the toll on him because he had two horrible fights against Yoel Romero. He's been knocked out here, and I'm hoping that he doesn't start to get old overnight because Robert Whittaker, when he's actually focused, when he actually thinks his way through fights, he's a genius of the sport. But let's give all the credit in the world to the style bender, Israel Adesanya. His celebration was something that has to be noted, and he was just brilliant from start to finish. He gets the fight game. The sport now is absolutely desperate for stars. Jon Jones isn't going to be around forever. Conor McGregor is getting up to all sorts in Dublin. We need a new face. Israel Adesanya is that new face. The dancing, the composure, the punching power. He does everything right. He's good off the mic. He's good on the mic. And he's somebody that people are really getting behind. He's just headlined in front of 57,000 people. He can do the whole of Australasia, whether he wants to fight in Australia or New Zealand. He's got the United States. He could be a star in Vegas. He's somebody that they'd be all over. But most importantly, he's got a whole African market which the UFC need to tap into. And he could very well be the guy alongside Kamaru Usman. So, long story short, Israel Adesanya is the future of this sport. And who's he going to fight next? Paulo Costa's the man. And as I said, he's brilliant on the mic. He referred to Paulo Costa as an overblown Ricky Martin. I thought that was quite a good line. Israel Adesanya, he's the face, and he's going to move on to that fight. And I think he'll beat Paulo Costa in Jared Cannonier. I think the likes of the wrestlers like Yoel Romero could give him some problems, but he's going to have to learn to overcome, and I think Israel Adesanya's one for the future. Now, looking at the co-main event, Dan Hooker, Al Iaquinta, I got this one wrong. I fancied Raging Al to beat Hooker, but unfortunately, he just wasn't good enough on the night. Dan Hooker seemed to be a step ahead throughout the entire contest, even dropped Al in the second. He'll go up from 15th to around 6th in the rankings, a huge victory for him in his backyard, effectively. And actually, it was a really good night for that camp because he does share a training facility with Israel Adesanya, and he called out Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is key for Conor McGregor, but I don't think that fight will get made. I don't think there's much upside for Conor McGregor for a rematch with Dustin Poirier. So Poirier-Hooker isn't a bad fight. Hooker-Felder, that's a good fight. As for Al Iaquinta, I think he got a lot of credit off the back of the Khabib fight. He didn't win, but he put in a good performance and he made the distance and he even did quite well in the later rounds. But that's all we're really judging him on in terms of his high-quality opposition. I know he beat Kevin Lee in the second fight, but he got schooled by Donald Cerrone, and this is an old Donald Cerrone. So I don't know where Al Iaquinta goes from here, but He's hoping he can get back to winning ways, but I don't know where he's going to go because he's probably going to end up like 50. He's just about in the UFC rankings now, so he needs a win, and he needs it soon. Now, moving on to Michael Bisping, and we've got a contest coming up for the baddest motherfucker belt, and I think the original baddest motherfucker has to be Michael the Count Bisping. The man spent the bulk of his career fighting with one eye. There were fights where his good eye would sort of cloud up, he wouldn't be able to see a thing, and he'd literally be almost blind in there. He said during the Dan Henderson fight that he had to stand at certain angles just to see Henderson. So on his podcast, he popped out his own eye to show that this man really is made of hard stuff. Michael Bisping is a man that's adored by so many fans, not just for his personality, but for what he did in the octagon. He went through real wars, he went through so much adversity, and he overcame absolutely everything to eventually become the UFC champion. And this is just another thing the man has had to contend with. I don't know if he did that whilst he was fighting. I think when his eye went, he filled it up with oil, and I think it was only after his fight career actually ended that he changed over his eye. But regardless of that, Michael Bisping, a true warrior of this sport. Somebody as UK fans, we all adore, and it was cool to see him take his eye. And it's cool to see him being confident about it, because I know he's not found it easy losing that eye, so it's good to see he's overcoming that. Now, let's talk a bit about the WWE and Brock Lesnar. He's somebody that we wanted to see back in the sport, maybe fighting Daniel Cormier, but he's sticking over with the entertainment side of the sports world now. And Cain Velasquez came out and battered him once again, and I find it utterly fantastic that Cain Velasquez is terrorizing Brock Lesnar in whatever organization he sees fit. Brock seemed to genuinely be terrified as Cain Velasquez strolled to the ring with Rey Mysterio, but we know how WWE is written. Brock Lesnar, he's a bit of a diva. He won't want to lose again. So in a weird way, this will sort of be his redemption. And Tyson Fury turned up as well, and he's taken on Braun Strowman at a pay-per-view not too far. Tyson Fury, the master of trash talk, the master of the mind games. He wants to become a superstar. The Deontay Wilder fight did about 300,000 pay-per-view buys. WWE SmackDown was seen by over 3 million people. So this is a great product for him to come a crossover star, and he was a natural in there. But something I want to touch on is that Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez would have been in the same building. And for those of you who remember, there is a bit of beef there between those two. Tyson Fury offered out Cain Velasquez a few years ago. Cain didn't seem too keen. Cain wanted Tyson to come over to their world and build his way up to a title fight. But yeah, it would have been interesting to have seen if those two cross paths in the locker room. Who knows what to come on? Maybe that's a future storyline. Now, lastly, Jon Jones, Frank Lester. Lester accusing Jon Jones of nicking over £13,000 off him when Frank Lester was his coach, saying that the whole team has messed him around. And could this well be true? Yeah, Jon Jones isn't somebody you particularly trust. Jon Jones is a man who crashed into a pregnant woman with his car, ran off, and then returned to pick up the wallet and then ran off again. He's not somebody that you necessarily want to trust. And neither is that whole team. I know they ditched Rashad Evans when they thought Jon Jones was the superior option, so I wouldn't particularly trust what that camp has to say. Jon Jones disagrees, obviously. He said that Frank Lester left the group because of his own drug issue, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Frank Lester says it is on site as soon as he sees Jon Jones. I'm not sure if that's a great move, because Jon Jones is probably the pound-for-pound hardest man walking the face of the earth, so I won't count your chickens for that, Lester. I think you'd be in trouble if you kick that one off. Now, I'm going to quickly consult the comments. Okay, I think that's all we... Yep, Izzy wants to fight Jon Jones. He's interested in that one, and I am too, to a certain extent, but Izzy is a 185-pounder, and that's what I think he is. He weighed in well underweight. He makes the weight easy. He was wearing his joggers and his trainers. I think he's absolutely fine at 185. I don't think he's big enough for 205. Jon Jones needs to stop picking on the little men and just step up and fight the big men. Let's see him in with Stipe Miocic. Let's see him have the mettle to go up there and really challenge himself. Israel Adesanya is just a man who'd be a little bit too small. Israel is absolutely suited to that division below, so I'd rather see him stay there. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. I've been Jay Sweet, and please make sure you join us next week. Thank you. Goodbye.